contract to do any type of inspections you want. It's due diligence, building, termite, radon, mold, whatever you want. By that 10th day, you have to have a list to the seller of the things that you find unacceptable with the home. You now have typically another 10-day period to come to an agreement. If you do not come to an agreement, then the contract dies. The buyer gets his earnest money back. The seller's home was tied up for 20 days on the market, so it's not a good thing to not come to terms. So having expectations managed on both sides are really important. And then there's one piece of the building inspection that people do not realize is there, is it's really, we dub it the buyer's remorse clause. So once you put a contract on a house, you have that 10-day period to do your inspections. There's one paragraph in the contract that says, once a buyer has done a professional inspection, doesn't have to be all of them, it could be the cheapest of a building inspection, just a basic home building inspection. Once they have done that, they can then terminate the contract, no questions asked, money back. So they've tied that home up for 10 days, and then they can back out, even if the house was perfect. So sometimes people are using that as a placeholder on houses. So they get into negotiations, they win, and then they're like, well,
inside baseball here.
Yeah.
So what realistically should the building inspector catch, and what are some of the things that it's just not reasonable for him or her to get?
So typical things are going to be windows. We get a lot of windows. St. Louis has hot and cold, so the thermal seals will often fail after years. So a little cloudiness in windows, that type of thing. Heating and cooling that's not working properly at the end of its life. Roof leaks, plumbing leaks, things like that. Just the typical stuff that you're not climbing under your sinks all the time, so you didn't realize it had a slow leak. You're looking for things that the seller didn't notice on the surface.
Gotcha.
You're not looking for the scuff mark that's on the floor that you walk in and see every single day that was visually there when the buyer bought the house. You're not looking at a countertop that's got the curling iron burn on it from sitting there all those years. You know, those are all cosmetic things.
Gotcha.
Now, if you've got a vanity top that's cracked down the middle and you can't use the sink, that's something different.
What about like foundation cracks and things like that? Is the home inspection supposed to get that too?
They do, and what they're going to do is they're going to point them out, but then they're going to CYA and say, call in another inspector that specializes with foundation. So they're like the first level of inspections.
Gotcha.
And I can tell you in St. Louis there are lots of cracks, concrete cracks. What you're looking for is something that's an active leak or shows sign of moisture, or an odd number of cracks. It looks like the foundation is really settling.
Kathy Helbig, she's the goods. That's why she's here. And forget all that. Just call her, and her and her team will help you out. 314-276-SOLD, KathyHelbigGroup.com. Download the app from your smartphone. It's a great app. Kathy, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
742 here, Big 550, KTRS.